Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and on today's video I'm going to go off my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL currently. With the NFL season coming up, I think it's time to talk about my top 10 personal list of my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL currently. Now before you get into this list, this is just my opinion, don't get mad in the comments, so let me know who your favorite NFL quarterback is currently. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe, and before we get into the list, I'm just going to name 3 honorable mentions that guys you could consider top 10. My 3 are Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, and Kirk Cousins. Me personally, I have these guys at 13, 12, and 11. I feel like there is a debate to put them on the list, but I currently have other guys over them, so let's get into it. At number 10, I have Jared Goff. Now, some people are starting to think that the Jared Goff hype is starting to get a little bit crazy and starting to make him overrated, but in my opinion, I think he's still a little bit underrated. Jared Goff last year had a 65% completion rate, 4,438 yards, 29 touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions, and a passer rating of 99.3. I really like what I saw from Goff last year in them games that they won especially. I think that the offensive coordinator in Detroit is amazing, and everything that they've been doing on the offensive side of the ball in Detroit is really good, and it's really helping Goff and making him a top 10 quarterback because he has some great weapons. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown, they just got some great wide receivers there, and they also got some great running backs there too. They just are building a great team, and I'm really excited for Detroit. And Jared Goff, in my opinion, is a top 10 quarterback because all the stuff around him is helping him succeed more, because we all saw the down years with the Rams, and then he got traded to Detroit, and now we had last year. He's a top 10 quarterback in my opinion. Goff balled out last year, and I have to give him his respect. I honestly think Detroit's going to do really well this year, and I think Goff might be able to put up some more numbers. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. At number 9, this might be a little bit controversial to some people, but I got Geno Smith. Now listen, some people might call me crazy for having Geno this high on my list, but listen, Geno last year was the most accurate QB in football with a 69% passer completion, 4,282 yards, 30 TDs, and 11 interceptions. Honestly, you might call me crazy for having him this high on my list, but after the master class of a year that Geno put on last year and winning comeback player of the year, honestly, he just skyrocketed in my QB rankings after what I saw him do. He was literally pretty much an afterthought in the NFL, and he just gets the start for the Seahawks because Russell Wilson gets traded, and all of a sudden he has the most accurate QB in the game of football, and he's out here putting up insane numbers with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I have to give Geno his respect. Just what I saw from last year, man, it was just all around a great year for Geno Smith, and I'm really excited to see what he can do next year. Me personally, I have him at number 9. If you don't like that, I guess I kind of understand, but just for me personally, I got him at number 9. At number 8, I have Trevor Lawrence. Now, stat-wise, you might be like, how do you have Jared Goff and Geno Smith over Trevor Lawrence when they passed for more yards? Listen, Trevor Lawrence last year was a very interesting season for him, and he's top 10 just because of the way that their season ended and the way they came back. The Jags were dead in the water at one point, and they somehow came back, won the division, and got very close to maybe possibly beating the Kansas City Chiefs in a divisional round matchup, and of course coming back down from 30 in Chargers in the wild card round. Trevor Lawrence had a 66 completion percentage, 4,113 yards, 25 TDs, and 8 interceptions, and a 95 passer rating. Listen, Trevor has so much potential going into this year. He can actually skyrocket and potentially be even higher on my QB rankings at the end of next year. He has so much, just so much raw potential in this Jaguars offense with Calvin Ridley now. He still has Christian Kirk, Zay Jones. They still got amazing guys there, and he can just easily skyrocket. He has an amazing deep ball. I love what I saw from him last year towards the end of the year, and I think Trevor is really going to put up once again another amazing year this year. At number 7, I have Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers stat-wise last year was not really that good. His stats definitely dipped from what we're usually seeing from him, but last year he had a 64 passer completion percentage. He didn't even throw for 4,000 yards last year, only 3,695, 26 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Now, these numbers are really, really down from what he saw in 2021 and those 2 MVP years. Yes, the numbers were down, but in my opinion, he's still a top 10 quarterback, and he's going to prove that this year with the New York Jets. He has a guy kind of like Devontae Adams, the Garrett Wilson, that's going to be there this year. A part of the reason why I think his numbers dipped is because he pretty much had all rookies as his wide receivers last year, like Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. He was in a very odd position with the receivers, and now I think in New York that he has some great receivers. The O-line is very, very questionable in New York currently, but I still think Aaron Rodgers is going to be fine, and I still think he's going to put up elite numbers there. This man just won back-to-back MVP not too long ago, so you cannot forget about him. Just because he had a down year last year does not mean that he's going to go ahead and not ball out this year. I have a lot of faith in Aaron Rodgers. In my opinion, top 7 quarterback in the NFL currently. At number 6, I have Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert had a little bit of a down year, I would say, from his 2021 year, but he still had a 68% completion percentage, 4,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, and only 10 interceptions. Now, it was a very interesting year for Justin Herbert because, of course, the year before that, he had 38 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. Now, why did he have a down year? Well, here's the thing. Keenan Allen was out for most of the year. Mike Williams was in and out of the lineup with injury. And now he has a new offensive coordinator this year, which I'm really excited. The old Cowboys offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. I'm really excited to see what he does with them. He also now has Quentin Johnson. And I think Justin Herbert is going to be a great and amazing quarterback this year. His deep ball is amazing. He just does ridiculous passes sometimes, like especially in 4th and long situations that you have seen. He just does some ridiculous things as the Chargers quarterback. And I'm really, really excited. Now, in my opinion, he's not top 5, but he's almost there in that top 5 radius. He is so close, and I honestly think he might be able to crack top 5 this year. Justin Herbert, potentially, if you want to pick someone for MVP this year that isn't like an obvious guy, honestly, I would say you should pick Justin Herbert, especially in this new offensive coordinator. We saw what Dak did in there. Just imagine what Justin Herbert is going to do in this offense. It's going to be truly great. I definitely think we should all be excited to watch this man ball out this year. At number 5, I have Lamar Jackson. Now, some people might come in here and be like, oh, he's biased because he's a Ravens fan. No, Lamar Jackson is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And to anyone who doesn't think he is, well, guess what? He's going to prove y'all wrong this year, especially with this new offense. I know Lamar's stats were technically down last year because he missed all those games. I know only 2,000 yards. He had 17 touchdowns. He had some also amazing rushing numbers. But this year, he's going to stay healthy, in my opinion, and he's going to prove everyone wrong, especially in this new offense with new guys like Zay Flowers and Odell Beckham and a new offensive coordinator. He's really, really going to flourish in this offense and really be great. People will say he can't pass the ball. He's going to prove that wrong this year. Lamar Jackson can pass the ball. We have seen clips of him throwing an insane deep ball. He can for sure pass the ball. His rushing ability just makes it better. Some people be like, how come he runs the ball all the time? If you had his rushing ability, would you want to stay in the pocket all the time and pass the ball, or would you want to go run around? He has that ability in him, so he should be able to go ahead and rush the ball and not be stuck in the pocket all the time. So I think for sure currently he is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, and if you do not believe me or you disagree and say like he's top 7, I guess that's okay, but some people saying he's out of top 10, you are completely crazy, and he's going to prove you guys wrong this year. He can pass the ball, he's an elite rusher, and he's going to prove to y'all this year Lamar Jackson is top 5. At number 4, we have Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts had a masterclass of a season last year on that Super Bowl run, and in the Super Bowl he played absolutely amazing. Last year, 65% passer completion percentage. He didn't even throw for 4,000 yards, but just you wait, 22 TDs passing and 6 interceptions. Now, if you also look at his rushing numbers, guess what? He had 700 yards rushing last year and 13 rushing TDs. He was second in MVP voting. Jalen Hurts had a masterclass of a season. But there is a little bit of stuff why I have these other 3 guys over him, because I will admit Jalen Hurts' team is like really, really good with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, but I still agree that he is an amazing quarterback in the NFL, but I feel like his great team and his best O-line in the league does, you know, add some stuff to it. Why some people might be like, oh, he's not this high of a quarterback because the team is amazing. And I don't think that them saying they have the easiest schedule last year is kind of unfair. They don't get to pick who they play. I, again, think Jalen Hurts is going to have an amazing season this year and still go off. I don't think that easiest schedule last year crap is going to stick for very much longer. But Jalen Hurts definitely deserves respect, and in my opinion, he is a top 4 quarterback in the NFL and needs to get his flowers just because of that. At number 3, I have Josh Allen. Now, some people might be like, well, Josh Allen kind of did have a down year last year, but I think the only reason why he had a bit of a down year towards the end of the year was because of that elbow injury kind of messed him up. He still had 4,000 passing yards, 35 passing touchdowns. He did have that 14 interceptions. That was like a huge problem last year. He also had 700 yards rushing. Now, that was a huge problem, those interceptions last year, but I think part of those was because he was hurt. If he does take less hits this year and doesn't have that elbow injury come up and happen again, I think Josh Allen will be just fine, and he's going to put up MVP level numbers like he usually has been doing for like the past few years or so. Allen, still a top 3 quarterback, still an amazing duo with him and Stephon Diggs in Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills are always going to be a threat as long as Josh Allen's there. I just think last year, the reason why he had so many interceptions and he had some bad games was due to that UCL injury, and I think this year, fully healthy, he should be good to go and be a top 3 quarterback. At number 2, I have Joe Burrow. Last year, Burrow had a 68 completion percentage, 4,400 yards and 35 touchdowns and only 12 interceptions. This man was balling out last year, and he had, I guess, another MVP level year, I would say, but of course he didn't win the MVP because he was outshined by Jalen Hurts, and then of course the next person that's going to be number one on this list. Burrow is still an amazing quarterback, and he's been kind of the only quarterback that has proved that he can go ahead face to face with Kansas City and go ahead and beat them. They dethroned them last year from the AFC, I shouldn't say last year, 2 years ago, and they had again a battle in the AFC Championship again, but this time they lost. I'm really excited to see that rematch between them this year. But Burrow, he is an elite quarterback. He's an S-tier quarterback. I don't care what some people say. Some people might say Jamar Chase carries him. Like, that's just insane, and it honestly just blows my mind. Burrow is an elite quarterback. He's an elite passer. He's a great decision maker, and he has some great accuracy. Burrow, top 2 in my opinion. And then, of course, at number 1, the best quarterback in the NFL, without a doubt, Baker Mayfield. He just has some amazing passing, some elite accuracy. Guess what, guys? I was just kidding. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Last year, 5,000 yards, 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I mean, these are just video game numbers. Last year's MVP. He's just all around an amazing quarterback. He has an amazing deep ball, amazing accuracy, amazing decision making. Patrick Mahomes is literally just that guy. He won the Super Bowl MVP last year, and he won the Super Bowl. I mean, come on now. The Chiefs basically didn't even have a true wide receiver 1 last year. Of course, they had Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the NFL, but like, they didn't really have a true wide receiver 1 last year, and they still end up winning the Super Bowl, and Mahomes still had 5,000 yards. I mean, come on now. This is just Himothy numbers. Like, there's no debate, in my opinion. Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the NFL. It's undisputed. If you think something else, I'm sorry. You are wrong. It is Patrick Mahomes. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe. It really helps out this channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we're getting closer and closer. Also, watch these 2 videos right here. Very great work by me. I think you guys would like them. Everyone have been watching this video. Hope all of y'all have a nice day, and I will see you guys in the next video.